made you want to become a social worker?
Good question. To be honest, I never grew up saying I wanted to be a social worker. I think as I got older and I started to volunteer and work with students, I learned that I liked working with kids and making a difference in kids' lives. So I've always wanted to work with kids. And then I think along the way, I found that I could work with kids in the school as a social worker.
What is your favorite food and why?
My favorite food? That changes probably monthly, I would say. Right now, my favorite is seafood.
I'm Adam, and my question is, where were you employed before you worked at Slauson?
Before I worked at Slauson, I worked for the University of Michigan. I was like a program coordinator, and what we did is we ran different programs for students to come visit the University of Michigan, and we did a lot of work talking to kids about college prep stuff, so getting them ready for college.
What did you do for entertainment when you were in middle school?
Entertainment when I was in middle school. Sports. I was a sports guy like I am now. A lot of sports. I think sports was really what I did to entertain myself. If I did any reading, it was sports.
What kind of things do students do that you think shows initiative?
Initiative?
Yeah.
Well, for one, I like how you guys have the Bear Facts. The whole newspaper thing, I think, is a very initiative thing for students. It requires a lot of discipline and independence to be able to go out and get your stories that you guys put in the Bear Facts.
When did you get into Slauson?
I started working at Slauson in the 2004-2005 school year, so about 10 years now I've been here.
So, Mr. Price, you mentioned that you did sports when you were in middle school. What were some of the sports you did?
Basketball and football were the two main ones that I did at that time.
Are you still doing either one of those now?
I can play basketball some, but not for a long time. My knees are bad now.
But you're also a basketball coach, right?
Yes, I coach basketball. I'm 7th grade boys coach and 8th grade girls coach here at Slauson.
Okay, go Bears.
How long have you worked at Slauson?
As I said, I've been here at Slauson since the 2004-2005 school year, which means you guys are probably, how old were you guys then? 3?
Yeah, they would have been 3 probably, yeah.
About 2 or 3, 4 years old, yeah. So before you guys even started school, yeah, I was here at Slauson.
What kind of music do you like?
I like a lot of different music. I think I'm a big hip-hop person. I like hip-hop, I like R&B, I like jazz, I like a lot of pop stuff that's out. I like, I've tried alternative stuff, and I've even tried some of the rock. I've tried all of it, but I think more than the others, I'm more of a hip-hop and R&B kind of guy.
What was your favorite movie in middle school, and what is it now?
In middle school, I was a big Ace Ventura and Jim Carrey fan back then. I think that was around that time. Yeah, I was into Jim Carrey a lot. Yeah.
I'm Yassine. You came up with the golden ticket idea, correct?
Yes, well, sort of.
Do you have any promotions planned for it?
Well, I'll tell you this. With the golden tickets and the golden slips, which we're calling it now, the idea is to give kids something to really be motivated about at school. And at the same time, as adults in the building, let kids know that we notice the good things that they're doing. As a part of the golden slips, Mrs. England and I, who were kind of working on it together, we're thinking of some really cool prizes that we're trying to have for students who actually earn golden slips. And when I say prizes, I mean things as big as and outside of the box as Xbox Ones and PlayStation 4s. Like, we're trying to make this golden slip thing something really, really fun that the kids like and would work hard for, to earn a golden slip. If you're doing something good, we want to be able to say, hey, you're doing a good job, and we've noticed that. But as an incentive, yeah, we're trying to get some really cool prizes lined up with this thing, and we want to make it, a part of Slauson to go forward, not just a fad right now.
So my question is, what kind of activities do you enjoy doing outside of school?
Cooking. Believe it or not, I love cooking because I love to eat. But, outside of school, I'm either cooking, I'm at my kids' sports activities. My boys, I have 2 kids, they both are into sports, so I'm usually their chauffeur, taking them to and from practices and games. And I like to travel. My wife's a flight attendant, so we get to travel a bit.
What was your favorite subject in middle school?
Spanish. My favorite subject in middle school was Spanish, yeah.
My question is, what is the best part about being a social worker?
The best part about being a social worker is that I, throughout the days, do not have to have a set schedule. Whereas your teachers, they know they're going to be teaching math every day, or they're going to be teaching these kids every day. I get to choose kind of who I want to work with on what days, what I want to do on certain. I get to make my own schedule. That's the best part about it. There's a lot of flexibility.
What criteria must be met for the golden ticket?
Off the top of my head, good citizenship, being on time to class, positive behavior, of course, community, like your involvement within the community and within the Slauson community. All the things that you could think of that someone would say, that was a good job. Behavior, community involvement, doing your schoolwork. Oh, also improving grades. That's a big part of it too, as we look at students who have shown that they're trying. So if their grades are improving, maybe they weren't doing so well first quarter, but second quarter teachers noticed that they've been working harder. That's a big one.
I'm David, and what made you come up with the golden slip idea?
Like I said, Miss Anglin and myself, we're looking for ways to show students that we notice and we appreciate their good behavior. Because you guys are all 8th graders now, and you were here with the VOEs and that kind of stuff. So one thing is we're trying to get rid of the whole negative aspect of the VOEs and be more positive, basically.
How long have you coached basketball? What do you think about it?
I've coached basketball for about as long as I've been at Slauson, for about 10 years. But throughout that time, I've coached middle school, boys and girls. I've coached high school. I've coached boys AAU teams. But the thing I like about coaching is, one, I'm a big competitor, and I don't like losing. So the fact that I can't play basketball so much myself anymore, the next best thing is to be able to coach guys or girls and get to see other people who are as competitive as I am in the sport that I like.
What is your favorite aspect of the Slauson community?
I would say I like, there's several different things about the Slauson community that I like, but I'd say one thing that I like in particular is the students at Slauson, and I'm just thinking about not, you know, the Slauson community right now, but I'm thinking about the product that Slauson has produced thus far as well. So students and adults, I guess, at this point who are older. But I like the, as George mentioned earlier, the initiative that a lot of students at Slauson have. They've gone on and they've done some pretty cool things, not just as high school students, but as they've gotten older. There's some pretty famous Slauson Golden Bears, you know, doing some good things in the world, not just in this community. So I like, I think I like the people that the Slauson community has produced.
Does anybody else want to ask any other questions based on what Mr. Price had to say? Yes, go ahead.
Do you? Sorry, never mind.
It's okay. You want to hand that microphone over to her?
Do you?
Sorry.
I don't have one.
Okay, think about it. Anybody else have some other questions? I always have lots of questions.
And I talk a lot, so that's fine.
Good, good. So in terms of those golden tickets, how do you go about determining who is going to win what prize?
So
What kind of,
this is what's going to make it so much fun, I think, is determining. So the way it's going to work is every 2 weeks there's a raffle, and Miss Anglin and myself are going to draw names from that raffle. I think it'll be a few kids in the 6th grade, if you're in the 7th grade, and if you're in the 8th grade. And there's prizes. We've ordered some things now, so there's smaller prizes for the every 2 week thing. So kids will be, I think I'm going to announce them over maybe the announcements in the morning or at lunch. So I'll make those announcements from a raffle, and then quarterly we're going to have a bigger raffle or a drawing, whatever you want to call it. But it'll probably be like in the auditorium, and we'll have the raffle going on the stage, and we'll have kids down in the auditorium. So your name may be called during, kind of like The Price is Right.
okay.
You know, where come on down, you've just been, so it'll be one of those kind of things where we'll do a raffle in front of the whole school, or as many kids as we can get in the auditorium. They'll come down and they'll get their prizes. And the prizes quarterly are going to be bigger than the prizes, you know, bi-weekly. And then at the end of the school year, the idea is to do an even bigger raffle for everyone who's gotten a golden ticket throughout the school year. And if your name's selected from that raffle, then that's the one I want to get, like Xbox Ones and big stuff. There's going to be some really cool prizes. But other than that, we're looking at things like gift cards to, you know, iTunes, Amazon, GameStop, some of the clothing stores in the mall, lunches with Jimmy John's, and I don't know. I'm open to hearing some suggestions from students as well as to some of the things that they would be interested in, because I'm not an 8th grader or a middle school student. So some of the things that students like, you know, we're open and we're always looking to be outside of the box with some of the prizes and things that kids would be interested in.
So can kids have their name put in the box more than once, so when you do that drawing, they might have 3 tickets in there that they can get?
If a student has, you know, in the 2 week period, 5 golden slips from teachers, that just improves their chances of being, yeah. So you can get as many as possible. If you're doing things the teachers notice, they can fill out a golden slip for you.
So I think you kids should think of something, if you were to win a prize, a small prize, a medium prize, a large, thinking about going to a circus carnival, and you play one of those games and you can get a small prize, and then if you win it more times, you get a medium prize, get a large prize. I think you guys should think about it, because that's a goal that you could set. Not necessarily just to get the prize, but while you're working towards that goal of getting the prize, you are showing your shine. You are shining Golden Bear rather than just kind of blending into the woodwork, right? So, who has an idea of a prize they want? You ready? You have the question
I
there?
just have a question.
Okay. Think about that.
Don't you think it's unfair to only like put the students that have really good grades inside the thing and not the ones with bad ones? Like,
Well, your grades doesn't determine if you can get a golden slip or not. Because like I said, there's several different categories. You could have poor grades, but your behavior could be, pretty good behavior, or you could be doing other things that teachers notice and they could say, hey, you know what, I really appreciate that, or I really like how hard you've been working in the community, or whatever it may be. So just because a kid has poor grades doesn't mean they can't get the golden slip. But if you do have poor grades and you work hard and teachers notice that you've been trying to improve those grades, you can also get a golden slip for that too.
If you have a question, raise your hand and then we can just pass the mic to you. Yeah.
Since there's no honor roll for all A pluses, could you give out golden tickets or golden slips for that?
Well, one of the categories actually is for consistent academic achievement. And that would be one of those, that would fall in that criteria of academic achievement. It's the student who's been consistently receiving A pluses or, yeah. Because there actually, believe it or not, there's quite a few students at Slauson who have A pluses, in school. Just tough to do, but there's quite a few.
If we don't get drawn the enroll raffle, does our name go to the next one?
It's one of the things that we're still working out, but I think at this point I would say yes, that's how it's going to be set up. If you didn't get selected in that first raffle, then the next one that rolls, your name will still be in the pot for that one. Yes.
To raise publicity for the whole golden ticket thing, we're recording this and I'm going to put it on the Bearfax website. So if you record like the raffle drawings and stuff, I could also put those on the website.
I'm okay with that.
Got some ideas? He's asking you what kind of prizes you're interested in too.
What kind of things do you guys, as middle school students, like? When you have money, what kind of things do you go to the store to buy, or what kind of things do you ask your parents for?
GameStop.
You like GameStop? That's a good one. I think a lot of kids like the GameStop because you can get more than just video games from GameStop too.
Yeah, computers and games.
Yeah, computers and video games. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Laptops.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't have a laptop or an iPhone or an iPad or something. I don't know if you guys can get something like that.
iPad minis.
Do you have something else?
That's about the same as an Xbox, huh?
They have a new store called Home. It's a home store.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Ypsilanti.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You get some things from there.
Some of the things that to me, I would give a golden ticket for. The other morning I was coming in, I may have had like 3, I don't know, I look like a bag, I just coming in, I got my computer bag, I had another bag of something else, whatever, my hands were really full, and some young man just came and he just ran and opened the door for me. It's just those kinds of courtesies, kind of respect. When you're in class and, somebody starts talking to you and say, hey man, I'll talk to you later. I need to pay attention in class or whatever. Those kinds of things where you take, as George mentioned, the initiative to not only help yourself, but help others see what kinds of things they can do to be better citizens at Slauson. And as Mr. Price said, there have been a number of really wonderful achievements by Slauson students. And, I've been at Slauson for 30 years, and one of the things I like about Slauson is the same kind of thing he's talking about, is that the students here have a lot of respect for each other and a respect for the community. And those who are struggling with that, you as leaders, as 8th grade leaders especially, with 6th and 7th graders, could be model citizens to show them how we do things here at Slauson. And I think that's probably one of the things that Mr. Price and Miss Anglin were thinking about, is how can we, be better golden bears in those terms. Anybody else think of any ideas or any other questions? I think it's really nice of Mr. Price to spend all this time with us today. Sure. Okay, thank you very much. We really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having